Hello, welcome to my Dark Souls 2 playthrough. My name is Paul. I know what you're thinking. God, why, oh why yet another Dark Souls 2 playthrough? Well, especially when, we've got great Dark Souls 2 playthroughs by guys like Epic Name Bro and a German spy who actually worked on the official guide for the games, absolute connoisseurs of the game, and they have awesome playthroughs. They so awesome that they inspired me, in fact, to do one of my own. I started this game several times, and I like to go with a dex build. So the theme of this playthrough is going to be how to have fun with a dex build. It took me a while to kind of find a groove playing with a dex build. Unlike Dark Souls 1, like I really love Dark Souls 1 where you could kind of pick up the wing spear right away and use that as a kind of good early game weapon. One of the complaints of Dark Souls 2 is like there's not as many good early mid-game weapons, and I definitely feel that. So it took me a while, but I finally found the discovered the joy of dual wielding. So that's my plan for this build. Curious if anyone picks up on the name that I'm using, Tien. It's a minor character in a series of fantasy novels. For those of you that do know, gotta obviously imagine him as he would be a little bit older. We do know that he is of the race of human, or of the class of humans that have dark eyes. So we'll choose dark eyes for him and matching hair. So the suggested class for doing a dex build is bandit, and unlike the popular choice of a bonfire aesthetic, I'm going to actually go with a petrified something and throw that in the bird's nest right away to see what we get. So a couple other things that will be different, different than the normal playthrough, I suppose, is I won't be going into the lore. Like I said, those Epic Name Bro and a German spy are absolute connoisseurs of the lore. I could never do as good a job as they could with it. Not to disrespect the game at all, but I'll be skipping like a lot of the dialogues. As well, I will be picking up like all the items I know about, and certainly exploring all the areas. So playing through all the areas. I won't be farming at all. Like Epic Name Bro mentions, there's really no need. You're given plenty of souls, and if you ever want more, the thing to do is do multiplayer and do jolly cooperation, help guys defeat bosses or something. So very Dark Souls-esque. They throw a pretty tough enemy at you right away. Trick with him is to get him in this repeated animation where by his butt cheeks. Are rewarded with a stone ring, which we use to decrease your enemy's poise, and gold pine resin, just temporary infusion on your weapon. So when I first played, I actually, embarrassingly enough, so timid I farmed out Things Betwixt. So unlike Dark Souls, the other Souls games, there's a limit to how many times nearby enemies respawn. So this is kind of the beginning tutorial area. There's 3 main areas marked by the fog gates here, one far off in the distance, and throughout they've got these little tombstones that give you kind of the instructions and the basic control of the game. R1 being your basic attack, R2 being strong attack. And you can one-hand or two-hand weapons. Use R3 to target an enemy. Every weapon has like a rolling attack and a running attack as well. You can backstab by with R1, whether you're one-handing or two-handing, just as long as you're behind them in the right spot and you're not aware of your presence. Picked up the dagger there, which interestingly enough remains one of the stronger backstab weapons throughout the game. I think a lot of people just choose to buff that up to +10 for their backstabbing needs. Use circle to dodge roll. So these life gems are new in Dark Souls 2. They're consumable healing items that slowly regen your health. And the bird's nest makes its return. You can use to drop several items and for exchange for hopefully more useful items. So we're going to use the rusted coin actually just to temporarily boost our luck and see what we get out of it. Careful not to use select the use here. I've done that several times. It will just disintegrate the item to dust. You can leave multiple items in succession though. See what we get. Faint stone. Alright. I'm not sure what that is actually. Channeler's Trident, interesting weapon. Not too useful to play in PvE, but can be a fun one. We kick the ladder down there because that's what we'll use to revisit the bird's nest, but we'll drop down there to pick up this item. So as I was saying, the Channeler's Trident actually has a special attack that temporarily boosts your stats and also boosts the stats of other players that you're doing cooperation with and co-op with. So. Jump by running, holding the circle, and then hitting the L3 trigger. It's always a harrowing experience in Dark Souls games. Epic Neighbor affectionately refers to it as the jump mechanic. I find that pretty humorous. Alright, so they introduce you to another attack mechanic, which you can target and fall down on enemies and hit the R1 for an attack. Effective attack. That one hit took him out. Cracked red eye orb can be used to invade other players. You gotta watch these snipers. Archers, they snipe at you, a very common theme in the game. Alright, we gotta take some damage here with this fall, but we gotta do what we gotta do. There's an archer sniping at you again. So not all enemies respawn, and there's a couple trolls down there. Ogres, which that's the case. Just have to take them out once. So my walkthrough's on the PC as well, which is a lot more enjoyable playing experience. The textures and the frame rates are just much better. We're going to try to bait this guy up here. There we go. Have a seat. You dare challenge me. Get out of the way in time. So that little boat over there can be used to change your gender if you're so inclined. I actually used it the first time I played, not knowing I was using it. Or not knowing what it was for, and not knowing that I had changed my gender. Alright, and that clears out Things Betwixt. So now we will head to Majula, which acts as your home base for the game, which you'll probably get sick of after a while. Bright and beautiful. So there you can see the bonfire off in the distance. It's the bonfire you'll be respawning back to. So there's a few items we want to pick up around here. Divine Blessing can fully heal you and eradicate any status effects you may have, like poison or petrification. So we want to drop down here because couple weapons, couple casting type weapons. And the binoculars, which you can equip and zoom. It's particularly helpful for ranged attacks like Soul Arrow. So there's a few buildings around here with NPC merchants. We'll be visiting them shortly. One over here. This door's locked here in this building, and that door's locked. There's a cat, animal cat merchant. Can we see her? Yeah, there. She's scratching against the wall. She sells some interesting rings. We'll be visiting her later. So the Ustis Flask makes its return in Dark Souls. That's the main healing item that's replenished after the rest of the bonfire. No, it's just flash shard. +1 is used to +1 your uses of it. There's a set of homeward bones here, with which is used to transport back to the last bonfire you used. And Leningrad, the weaponsmith, sitting there forlorn because his workshop is locked and he's locked out. We'll find his key for him shortly. This little shrine thing has an NPC guy up there as well, which can be used to join the beginning covenant. Kind of one of the early game covenants. Which, if you wear the ring, it can summon
I'm told anything what we call, do you see
other players to you if you've been invaded, so you can team up on the invader.
And where if that right, do you ever the journey you'll face if when you've protection?
So we'll go ahead and join and get that ring.
That people. Do you feel?
And I believe he has a gesture to teach us as well.
May you find peace.
And FromSoft put this little plaque here to tell us how many deaths there are overall. Over 80 million now. The countless wasted hours playing this game. So this is the main an NPC that prompts you through the main quest line, and she gives you the Ustus Flask to start. She'll also mention the fact that you have an Ustus Flask shard. So, not much feedback on that upgrade there. It's like somebody didn't finish their job or something. But so yeah, you can use her to level up as well. And we'll light our home base bonfire. So the game's roughly split up into 2 halves, and you can't kind of enter the second half area until you've acquired 4 main boss souls, or 1 million souls. And the different areas that you go to do that are kind of start from this home base in Majula here to do that. And we're going to head over to kind of one of the beginning areas, Forest of the Fallen Giants. It's kind of the first one they expect you to kind of go through. And the game's not as open play as Dark Souls 1. They kind of put some artificial limitations on where you can travel with these petrified NPCs that you need to unpetrify with the Fragrant Branch of Yore. And it's kind of one of the complaints, and I hear that complaint. So this is the main path down to the Forest of the Fallen Giants, but we'll head this way first because there's a chest and another item. And we can jump over here to get this item. Oh. Reset. There's kind of an alternate entrance to the Forest of the Fallen Giants. That path we were looking down heads right here. Right up there. Alright, so these beginning guys are hollow soldiers. Start with the backstab to kick off the game. There's a bonfire over here. It's not really necessary if you're just kind of heading through this area once or not farming. Gotta be careful that there's an archer over there sniping at you. use this little bridge as cover. Guy kind of hidden up here. We'll pull them down. Another common theme is got these bodies laying around that seem like they're dead, but they're not always. These guys mostly drop their equipment. You can see an item up there. We can't get to it from down here, but we can jump down to it from up above here. Alright, so careful on your ascent here, because you're thrown into an area with enemies right away. We'll kind of get behind this tree, because there's an archer over there swinging at you, or firing at you. Best performance. Alright, so we'll head over here to take care of that archer. Careful with this spiral staircase. There's couple guys waiting for you in here. Where are we? Here we are. And, oh, not running. Jump. So we get a short sword here. Let's go ahead and equip that, actually. Kind of like that a little bit better than the hand axe, to be honest. I think it's usable by most classes without leveling up. Lost up here. This little wooden thing sticking out here reminds me of Assassin's Creed. I get kind of an urge to swing on it for some reason. Alright, so remember that item down there, so we can jump down here and get it. You roughly got to kind of line up to the right of that boulder. You got room to spare. So we get 10 throwing knives, which is great. We'll equip that right away. We actually did not equip our Estus flask yet. We'll do that. Careful coming down. Use those boulders to soften your fall. Alright. We will take this guy on in a second. There's another guy possum here. So yeah, this is a hide night. There's several of these throughout the game. And you've got to attack them to get them going, trigger the fight with them. And their attack animations are pretty tricky. Which is why I'm using these daggers here. Yeah, see? can backstab him. There we go. So he drops a High Knight sword, which is requires more strength than we have. But this sword has lightning damage, so it's not bad. I think it's not bad to use against the Pursuer if you have the strength for it. So careful here. That jumps out at you. There's a couple other guys over here as well. Draw them out. And there's an item over here. They don't hide items behind destructible items too much in this game. 20 wood bolts. Oops. Tried the R2. Alright, careful here. There's an archer who's going to shoot down at you. Get him to move over there. Block himself. And there's another guy up here that throw fire bombs at you, so buckler is supposed to be a pretty decent parrying shield, or help you with parrying at least. I have not tried it myself. Alright, so I head down in this little area here. Let me first pick up this item, and there's another guy kind of laying in wait over here. Sitting down contemplating life. I almost fell off. I almost died as well. That's how not to do that. So this is kind of an optional area, or is an optional area, but there's a decent kind of special sword we can get. And some items. And we like items. Continued another day. Come on, buddy. He's kind of stuck in a little area there. That's interesting. Let's see, stab. There we go. Carefully make our way down this tree. This guy does not have a weapon. couple little tunnels here. And you want to be careful here. You head in here a little bit and then head back out. There's trigger these guys falling down. You don't want them sneaking up behind you. There's this buddy. So it's a flame salamander. And in here, get a Fire Longsword, which makes sense. It's been infused with fire sitting there. And I think this is a few life gems, yeah. And to get back, I'm gonna go through this hole that we walked by earlier before. And there we are. Oh, that's not the door. This is a door. Alright, so this is the Cardinal Fire Bonfire, and it's an NPC merchant, Malintia. What is her name? Merchant Hag Malintia. So a lot of the NPCs you come across in your adventure, after you talk to them a while, they'll mention that they're going to head back to Majula, so that's swell. We'll pick up a few items from her in a second, but let's head up here first. So this item, this door, locked. But I guess the splinters on here are supposed to kind of hint to you that you can destroy it. I don't know. Or you're supposed to get lucky, or you're supposed to watch somebody's playthrough. Another shield. Repair powder can use to repair your weapons. Alright. Let's see if the rolling attack gets him. A little lower thrust. So, and key items I'll put in metal chests so you don't destroy them. And here we get our small white sign soapstone used to leave summon signs. And another Us's flash shard. Oh joy. We can drop down here. What is this? Pure luck? I don't know if that makes sense, but. And we get another divine blessing. Okay, so we will. She's got the traveling merchant gear, which isn't special at all. But I do like to get the traveling merchant hat because it raises item discovery, and I like items, so I'm going to pick that up right away. And as I said before, there's Leningrass key, which we can get. So we'll pick that up. We found his key for him. And we'll pick up a few of these. Just like 4 of those. 4 fire bombs. And let's see, throwing knives. Nah. So that's good for now. So you can actually. There's kind of a hidden secret here where you can destroy this wall. It's not so easy, though. My percentage time of successfully hitting the right spot. There's powder kegs on the other side, but going to give it 2 shots here and give up otherwise. Yeah. So I want to save my other 2 fire bombs, but yeah. Trust me, you can do it. And we'll be exploding it from the other side instead. So so let me cut it here, and then we'll explore the rest of Forest of the Fallen Giants in the next video. But thanks for joining me so far, and any feedback you guys have is absolutely welcome. Any suggestions you have of things to try out, I appreciate your patience. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this, so I'm finding my voice for sure, and finding my playability while doing this as well. So it's all kind of new to me. So thanks very much, guys. Bye bye.